Hey everyone, Pastor George here, and I'm in a different part of the Southwest this week to bring you our Theolog for today. And today I wanted to share something light, something a little humorous that popped up on my Twitter feed recently because I've been talking about a lot of heavy topics on the channel recently, so I decided to spice things up a little bit. And so today we are going to look at this photo that someone took of a Starbucks at a Starbucks near them. And as you can see here, it's a quote. And if you've ever been to a Starbucks, a lot of them will have these little um, which I'm sure most of you have. Actually, it'd be more insane if you've never been to a Starbucks. But in Starbucks, they always have these little blackboard things that employees will either like doodle on if they're more artistic or like put on quotes or whatever. And so this one this week has this quote on it. And it says, "So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." And then if you'll notice who that quotes, it says anonymous. So it's officially happened. Jesus has been officially gentrified by Starbucks. And this is a quote from Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew. This is during his famous parable of the consider the lilies, right? It's not a parable, but it's his little consider the lilies um, speech that he gives, right? Where he's telling people not to be worried because lilies and birds are fed, and so, don't worry about today, for it has enough troubles of its own. What I think is really funny, and I think it speaks to maybe our broader culture in this, is that there are kind of two possibilities to this, and both are pretty funny to me. So the first possibility is that it was a Christian employee who wanted to get away with writing a quote from the Bible on the blackboard, of course, knowing that the company would never allow it, even if it's a good quote like this, right? Um, and so I think it would be a she, probably judged on based on the handwriting. I know that's you can't do that, but that's just what it seems like, because there's a little heart at the end. Guys don't tend to do that. Um, wrote this and just try to get away with like having a quote from a Bible, and then wrote anonymous because that then no one's going to have an issue with it. And if because most people don't read the Bible, a lot of people would come in and be like, "Oh, that's cute, right? That's a nice little quote," and they would have no idea that that's Jesus that said that. Or like this is one of those things where you see it'll pop up on like quote of the day stuff or uh, these quote sites or like these quote pages on Facebook that are supposed to give encouraging quotes and stuff, but they don't really source who they're getting their quotes from, so they'll just pull them from random places, and it's from that. And so the person went, "Oh, this is a really nice thought," and then they wrote it on there. Either way, I think it's really funny, just because it shows our cultural inability to engage with what Jesus is saying, and maybe to have like a larger discussion, like what if it actually did say Jesus? Would that be an acceptable thing to write? Um, and it'd be interesting because I have a feeling that if we went into most places, right? If you went into a Starbucks and there was like a quote from the Buddha on there or something, most people wouldn't bat an eye. But it would be interesting if you quoted Jesus or quoted like Moses or like other people from the Bible, then you probably would end up getting a lot of pushback. And it's just interesting because our culture is fine with some religious things, but not with other ones, even like non-offensive stuff like this, right? It's not even, like a evangelism call or something like that. I just think it's interesting, but I think it's more funny that it's in this font, right? That's like associated with stuff like Starbucks, and it's just being completely taken from its original context and put into this different place, and in that way, like just been gentrified into being like a corporate thing that you can put out there, and people would have no idea where it's from. So people were having a lot of fun with this on Twitter, obviously, um, as they were pointing out that it's not an anonymous person; it's actually probably the most famous person that's ever lived, ever. So yeah. Anyway, thought it was funny. Just wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Keep praying for our VBS and sending questions because I don't have any for Thursday. So go ahead and send a question in. I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday for the mailbag. Peace out.